Mostly
I mean,
Rockets.
we're being honest about it.
Well, mostly Rockets doing bad things to Cat.
James Harden to Daniel House on Tristan Thompson and 1. Whew. Here comes the beard. Step back, yep.
Again,
Check
just
that
like
out.
we just talked about with Luka. It's a step back 3, and he's just big enough to shoot over the top of the contest.
With that one, he passed Kobe Bryant for 14th on the all-time made threes list. More of that coming. Harden.
And a drop off. I think the one thing about Harden's game, too, that's really deceptive, Griff, people don't realize how big a man James Harden is.
Yeah.
You know, he's not 6'8", but he's 6'6", and all of that 230 pounds with a great frame and a sweet handle. So he gets wherever he wants to go, whether you're a bigger or smaller opponent, he can take advantage of it.
He's still climbing the three-point charts in this highlight, in fact. He just passed Chauncey Billups as well as Kobe Bryant, so put him at 13th on the all-time list, and he's not done.
And in both of those last 2 threes he hit, Jetty Osman's who he puts on roller skates, and Jetty stays right there.
Yeah.
6'7" defender with a hand up, and James doesn't even notice him.
Well, and you're so afraid to reach as well because you know what happens. We'll get into that a little bit more here in a moment. Harden just abusing the Cavaliers, who have now lost 12 in a row. Houston has won 13 of 16 as Harden goes for 43, 10 boards, 12 assists. He is the first player with a 40-point triple-double since James Harden, in fact.
Sort of a category he's making his own.
More of the same for Harden.
Just, you know, the step back threes, he's perfected that. He's got 16 threes and they're step backs. And I don't know how he does it. I mean, he's in a space about that big. Everybody knows what he's doing, and he still gets them off. And they're kind of open. They're not like they're forced. So, just an incredible player.
Did you tell him he had till the end of the third quarter to get the triple-double?
I did not say that, but I said you got to the end of the third quarter to do whatever you're going to do. You're not playing any more than that. So I did not. And I thought, you know what a great thing was if you saw it, his 10th rebound, P.J. blocked off the guy, and James got it. P.J. could have gone after it.
He ducked out of the way.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good teammate.
Oh, they know. Everybody knows. So that's 15 straight games now with at least 30 points for James Harden, the second longest streak since the NBA-ABA merger. Kobe Bryant has a 16-point streak on his record. Harden and Houston will play at Memphis on Sunday. We have this MVP conversation. We're talking about the current MVP, but a lot of it to me is always about the player's responsibility with his team. And there is nobody with more on his shoulders in terms of winning or losing than that guy.
Outside of LeBron James, I don't think there's any single player with more. And I think the unbelievable part of what James Harden does is he gets so much credit, and rightfully so, for being an offensive machine and, you know, being able to score at will. It's the opportunities he creates for other guys. And you don't see him on the highlights, Griff. But when you have that much attention and focus on one guy, there's bound to be somebody else open and with an opportunity to finish a play. You see Clint Capella doing it all the time, but also P.J. Tucker, corner threes, Eric Gordon when he's out there. Doing it without Chris Paul, of course, makes it even more jaw-dropping to see James Harden go out there when you know the focus is on you. But you really can't guard him with one defender. You know, and I see teams do this all the time, and I'm thinking, surely you would give up something to try and slow him down, and they don't. They assume that this one guy is going to be able to handle him, and that's not happening.
No, hasn't been happening.
And the point you made in terms of his ability to find other people, because he's so good at getting rid of the ball, if you trap him and you try to force the ball out of his hands, he's going to make the right pass and the right read. And they're actually benefiting from the fact that Chris Paul isn't playing right now, and he can be so incredibly efficient during this period of time. And we can see that here in the video as well. James is getting the opportunity in the absence of Chris Paul to be the most ball dominant he's ever been. And he's truly efficient at this level of ball dominance. Most players aren't. He can mix it up. He shoots the three. He can take it to the basket when you play too much up on him. Again, that cross-court pass, we talked about it relative to Luka Doncic's size to make that cross-court pass. James makes that off the dribble with either hand. And here again, his size and length This is actually a pretty well contested three by most people's standards, but you saw how riveted Mike D'Antoni was by the space that James Harden creates for himself. It's become a ho-hum thing. He is so good at that particular shot that what he's done is he's also made it very complicated to officiate him.
Absolutely.
Because he's really, really adept at getting to the foul line. So now defenders don't want to put a hand in.
Yeah.
And officials are trying to identify whether or not it's a two-step rhythm, like Monty McCutcheon will tell you they're looking for, or was it a travel?
Right.
He's completely changed the paradigm in the NBA. We see it here. The one on the left is called a travel. The one on the right is not. Can we run that back again? The one on the left is a travel, and the one on the right is not. And what's fascinating between those, here it is again. Watch it, and if we could do it slower even, it'd be great. So this is called a two-step rhythm. And what James Harden does that makes his play legal, according to Monty McCutcheon, who runs the officials for the NBA, is it is a two-step rhythm. And as James is picking the ball up off the dribble, he still has a live dribble. He's making his step back. Steph terminated his dribble before he made the first step back. So his was a travel and James is not.
It's essentially the gather step that we always hear.
It is, but it's the execution of this that James has perfected, and Mike D'Antoni talked about it. If you're still in the act of your dribble when you step back, that is not a gather step. It's all part of a two-step rhythm that the officials are now taught to look for. If you are gathering it, you cup it, and then you take your first step back, that will be the first of a two-step rhythm. So James got two steps because, in theory, he was still dribbling on one of those steps.
I got a proposal for Monty McCutcheon and everybody else. Let's have a step-back three-point shooting contest in Charlotte during All-Star Weekend.
I like that.
I'm going with James Harden.
Yeah, why would we have a contest we know the winner of?
Well, I mean, Luka might have something.
You could have a Doncic Harden shoot-off. That'd be pretty good.
I'd take both those guys in that contest.
By the way, Harden's 40-point triple-double was through three quarters. He's the first to do that since James Harden at the end of 2016.
Mike D'Antoni also riveted by that as well.
Throw his name into a lot of those triple-double stats. Coming up 2 nights after a 2-overtime classic, the Thunder and Spurs do it again right here. We'll talk about it.
So here's the scenario. Game on the line, you need a three to win. Who takes the shot? In this open court short, 3 expert sharpshooters, Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, Dennis 3D Scott, and Kenny the Jet Smith, discuss who they would give the rock to in the clutch.
Backside with the ball, behind the back. Dennis Scott, long range, yeah! Kenny Smith again. What a stroke for Kenny Smith. Throws it across, Miller for Gray. Oh, he backed it in! He backed it in!
Hey everybody, Matt here with 3 of the most accomplished shooters in NBA history, 3D, Dennis Scott, Kenny Smith, the Hall of Famer Reggie Miller, and so of course...
This is a shooting show.
No, of course.
I was trying to figure out
I want to talk about shooting. One active player to take a game-winning shot, if you could choose, who is that guy?
Steph Curry, or Kevin Durant, or LeBron James.
Curry saves it, 3, Steph Curry! Goes to the corner to shoot a 3 and hits to tie it up. Shot clock is off. James pull up for a 3. Rainbow!
Any more?
To take a 3 to win a game.
I take all 3 of those. Even LeBron James, in terms of his ability to get it off, he'll get it off comfortably because of his size, strength, and ball handling ability. So he would get it off comfortably. He doesn't shoot with the same accuracy as those other 2 guys, but he gets a better comfort level at times than those 2 guys.
For me, active, if we're just trying to get a shot clock's going down, it's Kyrie Irving. His ball handling ability to be able to get to any spot on the floor and get his shot off, to your point, he's going to get his shot off. And he's one of the few point guards, well, there's a lot of point guards in the league, and can shoot the 3.
Definitely guys that I probably would have picked, but if I'm going with someone with ice water in their veins, need a shot, I'm going with Dame Lillard. A guy that can create his own shot, or you can put him in a high pick and roll, shoots with depth, can shoot deep, and if you foul him, he's going to make foul shots.
Does the answer change for any of you if I say it's a catch-and-shoot 3 to win a game?
Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Catch and shoot, I would add Klay to the catch and shoot. Like, it swung back out to him. I would add Clay to that for sure.
You know, it's funny, we were talking, James Harden.
Ooh, yes, to get a bucket, yes.
He could do.
Oh, my goodness, yeah, to get a bucket, yeah.
I mean, we're
Right,
not
catch the dribble, off the dribble.
Off the dribble, he's
Off the
great,
dribble, no
but
question about it.
He gets to walk and shoot
Yes.
it. So he gets he gets to do the running man.
I'll make it harder. Let's go back in history. Any player who's ever played to win a game with a three.
Oh, we're sitting right here.
Oh,
Who are you
yeah.
picking?
No, there's
He's
a
sitting
lot
right
of
here.
guys.
No, I'm not. You could go last if you're not going to talk about yourself.
I'm gonna go with Larry Legend.
No.
To make a
three.
three. He said to make a three, right?
To make a three.
To make a three at the end of the game.
Celtics have got 3 seconds. 2. Bird, a runner. It's good.
I'm going with Larry Legend.
I'm going with the guy sitting here only because the moment for Larry is always the moment. For Reggie, he creates more moments, meaning he's looking for an opportunity. I think at times you hope we get down 3. You know, so there's a difference. But Larry's like, no, I'm not even going to let you get up. I'm going to beat you. He's waiting for that moment. And so for me, watching Reggie over the years, I would have to say Reggie would be the guy I would be. Like,
Good looking, Kenny.
No,
Yeah.
but and taking it a step further, with Larry, as much as we, love his shooting, he's not going to get open in that situation. Where you, and I'm going to throw Ray Allen into the mix,
yeah.
both of you guys are going to get open because you're probably the best running without the basketball, running off screens and getting open.
I'm
Now,
going to put Larry second, though. I wasn't like,
Kenny, Larry's third. Ray Allen's above him. Well, come on now. Those
But
Ray
you know
Allen
what?
and Reggie Miller, we need a 3. Larry's not getting open. Him and Ray are getting open to get that 3 off.
Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
There's a guy that I would want to be in this mix because he's the leading three-point shooter in the history of playoffs over certain attempts. You know who that guy is, right?
Kenny the Jets man.
You know.
I was waiting for that.
You look at
That leads to my next question. You may have already answered it, but if in a theoretical world where I could play and I had to choose one of the 3 of you to win a game with a 3, where am I going?
We're all going to pick ourselves. That's how confident we. I mean, in all of our careers that we've all hit game winners, we've all hit buzzer beaters, so we know we can do it. So if you're asking openly, I want to. As much as I love both these guys, I want to take that shot first.
I would honestly say that these guys were better three-point shooters in this regard. That was such a big part of their diet. And for me, it became a part of my diet later on. But I had to learn to be that. It is like Reggie Miller, we played at UCLA in Pauley Pavilion and in North Carolina. We were like, guard him from here.
Right.
That didn't come into my life until about my 4th year in the NBA. It was always part of Dennis Scott's repertoire, a steady part of that diet, the long ball shot. I was catching up with you all the time.
Right.
Now, I just still think I could shoot the ball. But I just know that you guys it was a better diet.
We all have different strengths at different times. But at the end of a game, to a man, we're all going to say, put the ball in our hands. Kenny wants those shots.
Yeah, one of the
Kenny
biggest
wants those shots.
one of the
I
biggest
always wanted
moments.
those shots.
Yeah.
We were actually in the biggest moments in Rocket and Orlando basketball history. Hit a three-pointer to tie the game to send it to overtime in the NBA Finals.
He's been on fire and hits. He's tied the game.
But before that, this dude,
In the regulation,
he comes
right.
back and hits another one.
Back to Scott for 3 and he's tied
Back to back.
Yep.
It was him and I.
You haven't made my job any easier.
Well, hey, how about this? Who are you going to pick? If your life depended on it and your family's life depended on it, and they needed a 3 to get them out.
Open court, man.
Come
Keep
on,
it
man.
real. Open court,
I will
man.
answer the question. I've got bad news for you and my family.
What?
I turned it over before I ever got to give you it. You lost the game.
I would tell you this: if you,
I'm sitting here and not there.
if you gave it to any of us, your family lives.